Right now, somewhere, someone is trapped inside their own body, fully awake, fully aware, and completely unable to move. Their eyes are open, staring into their own bedroom, and something is standing in the corner, watching them. This isn't a nightmare, and it isn't a hallucination. It's called sleep paralysis, and it happens to millions of people. Every single night, somewhere in the world, this exact thing occurs. And for decades, science had almost no explanation for it. Here's what actually happens inside your brain. Every night, your body enters a stage called REM sleep. This is when your most vivid dreams occur. And to keep you from acting out those dreams, your brain paralyzes you. Your muscles go completely limp. Your body effectively shuts down. This is normal. This happens to everyone, every single night. The problem starts when your mind wakes up too early, before your body's paralysis has switched off. For a few terrifying seconds, sometimes minutes, you're trapped, awake, aware, and unable to move a single muscle. Your brain, still half inside a dream state, starts filling gaps. And what it invents next is where this gets disturbing. Across nearly every culture on Earth, the same descriptions emerge. A shadowy figure sitting on the chest, crushing the lungs. A presence in the room, watching, waiting, never speaking. People from countries who've never spoken to each other describe the same thing. In medieval Europe, they called this creature the mare, believed to sit on sleepers' chests, causing nightmares and terror. The word nightmare itself comes directly from this folklore. In Newfoundland, locals call it the old hag, pressing down on victims. In Japan, it's called kanashibari, meaning bound in metal. In parts of Africa, it's described as a spirit sitting on the chest. Different languages, different centuries, the same exact experience. How could isolated cultures invent identical monsters independently? For a long time, this question haunted researchers because the hallucinations aren't vague, they're startlingly specific. A weight on the chest, a shadow in the peripheral vision, a feeling of pure, overwhelming dread, and never being alone. In 2011, a researcher at the University of Pennsylvania went deeper. Balan Jalal began studying sleep paralysis victims using brain scans. He wasn't looking at folklore, he was looking at neurology, and what he found reshaped how we understand fear itself. During sleep paralysis, the brain's threat detection system misfires. The amygdala, your brain's fear center, becomes hyperactive. It starts scanning the room for danger that isn't there. And because you can't move, your brain treats stillness as proof. If you can't move and you sense a threat, your brain assumes attack. It doesn't have data to disprove the fear, so it manufactures a cause. That's why almost everyone reports a similar shadowy figure. Your visual cortex is essentially dreaming with your eyes open. This is where the story gets genuinely disturbing, because your brain isn't just imagining fear, it's constructing a face. Some scientists believe this ties to something called hypnagogic hallucination, a blending of REM dream imagery directly onto your waking vision. In other words, you're not imagining a demon. Your brain is projecting a dream character into real space. It looks real because, neurologically, it partially is a dream. Except this time, your eyes are open, watching it happen. Now, here's where researchers still disagree completely. One camp believes this is purely a survival mechanism gone wrong, an ancient threat detection system hardwired long before language existed, back when stillness in the dark truly meant a predator was near. Under this theory, the shadow figure is a fossil, a leftover fear response from a time when night meant danger. Your amygdala doesn't know saber-toothed cats no longer exist. It just knows. Still body, dark room, potential threat, react. But other researchers push back against this entirely. They argue the consistency across cultures is too specific for pure fear. A generic threat response wouldn't produce a sitting, watching figure. It would produce vague dread, not a detailed humanoid shape. Neuroscientist Christian Jarrett proposed something stranger, that the brain, deprived of movement, hunts for an explanation for paralysis, and the fastest explanation available is, something is holding me down. Your mind essentially invents a culprit to explain a mystery, which raises an unsettling possibility. If your brain manufactures a convincing false threat this vividly, what else might it be capable of inventing? And you'd never know. Memory, fear, even reality itself may be far less fixed than we assume. Some researchers have pushed this question even further. They point to the fact that stress and sleep deprivation increase episodes dramatically. College students, shift workers, and anxious individuals report it most, as if the brain's error-checking system breaks down fastest when overworked. This connects sleep paralysis to a much larger mystery, because déjà vu, dreams, and sleep paralysis all share something in common. Each one exposes a moment where your brain's illusion of seamless reality cracks. A glimpse behind the curtain of a system built to feel effortless. Here's the question nobody has fully answered yet. If your brain can manufacture a terrifyingly convincing false experience, complete with a figure, a location, and physical sensation of pressure, how do we know any experience is entirely what it seems? Sleep paralysis isn't dangerous, and it isn't supernatural, but it proves something deeply strange about the machine behind your eyes. Your brain doesn't just record reality, it builds it, moment by moment. And sometimes, for a few terrifying seconds, we catch it mid-construction. Somewhere tonight, someone will wake up and be unable to move. They'll see a shape in the corner of the room, and for a few seconds, their own mind will convince them it's real. Not because it is, but because their brain needed an explanation. If this has ever happened to you, you already know that feeling. The stillness, the dread, the absolute certainty something else is there. Science has an explanation, but explanations don't erase the fear, because knowing why doesn't change what it feels like in the dark. If your mind has ever built something this convincing, this real, it's worth asking what else it's capable of constructing without your permission. There are more glitches hiding inside the human mind worth uncovering. Subscribe, and next time, we go somewhere even stranger.